To start with, I'd like for you to write down any particular question or thought that you have about the topic at hand for today. Remember, the topic at hand for today is borders, walls, and immigration.
First word was fear. Borders are supposed to keep us safe, and now I have fear.
I'm prejudiced. I come from a city where we didn't have any people of any color till I was about 40, up in Wisconsin. So, that's the way I was raised.
Thank you for sharing that, yeah. Moving through, yep.
I guess my thing is they want to come here. They want to come here for a better life so badly. But then they also want to say, well, do it my old country way.
Yeah.
I guess I don't understand that.
I'll be real quick. She pretty much stole some of my thunder. We have the same wavelength. Assimilation is very important.
Hey, thank you. I really appreciate you being here. Yeah, thanks again. Hey, thanks a lot. Appreciate you being here, yeah. So I live in Ajo. I'm a geographer, but another thing that I do is a lot of volunteer work getting water to people who are dying in the desert, searching for people who have become lost and have died in the desert. There's a lot of effort of civilian groups. I was one of them. Yep.
No, in the interest of full disclosure, should have told us about.
Probably should have told you that first. Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Oh, hey, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it, and thanks for your stories. Yeah.
We turn now to southern Arizona, where a humanitarian aid volunteer is heading to trial for providing food, water, and shelter to 2 undocumented migrants. Scott Warren of Ajo, Arizona, faces up to 20 years in prison after being charged with 3 felony counts for allegedly harboring undocumented migrants.
People drink from these migrants as they're crossing through here.
Up into here, it'll be a little bit clearer whether we found a trail or not. I mean, that's the big unknown factor is finding a trail.
These guzzlers are probably key, that people would want to get to for water.
Okay.
This is Scott talking.
Marco.
Polo. Great. 2-1, they work.
Oh, and do you think that would go down?
Growing up here in Ajo, we were always taught, whenever you go in the desert, always carry water.
Ajo is the first town you reach when you cross the border. I hear a lot of stories of people who have died in the desert.
Sometimes there would be people passing through, wanting water.
They ask for a tortilla or a glass of water.
We always just gave it to them. What the hell? Ain't supposed to let nobody die of thirst or starve to death.
Le va a faltar el agua, le va a faltar la comida.
To us, it's normal. We've lived with them all of our lives. That was never a big deal. And then the government stepped in, made a big deal out of it, and now it's a big deal.
720142. Pick up this trash somebody left on the trail. It's not yours, is it? All you have to do is tell me, is it yours?
Scott Warren, for No More Deaths, your organization, released a report detailing how U.S. border agents had intentionally destroyed more than 3,000 gallons of water left out for migrants. Explain the significance of this, the timing, the same day.
The report was released that morning, and then agents arrested me that evening. United States of America versus Scott Daniel Warren. On or about January 17, 2018, at or near Ajo, in the District of Arizona, the United States Border Patrol agents were conducting surveillance on a building known as the Barn. 2 subjects that matched a description of 2 lost illegal aliens received the address to the barn as a place they could get food and water. After finding their way to the barn, Warren met them outside and gave them food and water for approximately 3 days. It's a scary thing to face these charges, but the 2 men that were arrested with me have not and do not receive the same kind of support and attention that I've been getting. And that's not lost on me either.
Stand up, gather around so you can see the maps, okay? Okay? So you all understand that almost everyone who migrates back and forth across this border migrates through the urban areas of this border, through the cities, because it's the easiest and safest place to cross, right? Except that in 1994, the United States decided for the first time to secure the border. They called it prevention through deterrence. So they said, step 1, we believe we can seal off those urban areas from migration. And they said, step 2, when that happens, people are going to start to go around the edges, right? But, they said, now when they go around the edges, they will have to go through the deadliest areas of the border. And they said that will be a deterrent to other people trying to cross, and thereby we will secure the border. Got it? And they were wrong. So this is the result of that strategy. Every one of those red dots is where human remains have been found.
We're going to trial next week, and I'm scared, but this isn't just going away. We're in this. We're in this till the end, whatever the end looks like. There's this water source, and then to the south, like 15 miles out and across the valley, there's another water tank like this. And I think basically why so many people are dying in this area is that they're trying to get to here.
Right.
And they don't make it.
So we can't, at this moment, say exactly what will be prosecuted and exactly what will not be prosecuted. We're in this really interesting moment in history. We're kind of tracking human rights defenders increasingly becoming targeted, intimidated, harassed, and prosecuted by state actors, including the United States.
I have over a dozen illegals. They ask for food. I feed them. I give them water. But my question is, can the Border Patrol go in my yard and get me? Would I be in trouble?
So is it my responsibility as a United States citizen to get identification for every person I give a glass of water to?
Right. Can you not
put water on the other side of your fence post or your property line?
Then you're littering and you have listed in your return.
Then you hang it from your fence on the other side. Is that littering if it's not touching the ground? It's all legal. All these little details.
500 years of legal.
When slavery was legal and slaves were running away and people were helping them, it was probably illegal. In your heart, you know what is right to do for another human being.
I know where my personal decision making and my personal conscience stand with those things. I cannot tell you what the answers are to those questions in terms of the legal framework of the US code or anything like that. Sometimes this doesn't get reported, but there were 3 of us arrested that day. It was me, along with Jose and Christian. The judge released me on my own recognizance after about 24 hours in custody. He said, yeah, whatever, you're not the kind of person that we need to put in jail right now. They kept Jose and Christian in detention in order to depose them as material witnesses in the case against me. And then in exchange for that, they very quickly deported them back to the places which they had been fleeing for their lives.
Do we know if those people that were deported back to the countries to which they had been afraid to live in are still alive?
I don't know.
Before, I see somebody on the road, need some water, whatever, here. Now I won't do it because I'm afraid of consequences.
No puedes ayudarle a nadie porque ya estás cometiendo un delito, un crimen. Uno quisiera, pero no se puede.
Everyone that Scott should be innocent.
Yeah, I don't think it was right. He was just helping someone in need.
He broke the law. If you do the crime, you do the time.
What's your size?
She says 14 or 13.
Do you have a preference between shiny and not shiny?
Always non-shiny. I'm a matte finish kind of a human being. This could be okay. Or like this kind of blue, I like. I feel like the black looks like you're going to a funeral. The navy blue looks like you're getting on a yacht.
This is strategy.
Okay.
It's not for you. But we want you to look sharp for jury selection.
Yeah.
I love you. So I'll see you really early.
All right, so thank you all for coming out today. We're here to stand in solidarity with Dr. Scott Warren and everybody else who believes that water and food are basic human rights.
Have a good day.
Thanks.
Yeah, you got this.
You are doing an impressive job of maintaining your cool.
Thanks.
Humanitarian aid is not a crime. It's not only not a crime, it's a duty, it's a responsibility.
Scott Warren, you go on trial today. Amnesty has called for all charges to be dropped. The judges refused to drop the charges. Scott, are you prepared to spend 20 years in prison?
A federal criminal trial in Tucson is catching national attention. The
trial of an Arizona man began today in federal court.
Warren has pleaded not guilty to the charges.
If he's convicted, he faces
20 years in prison. Reporting in
the legal aspect of this case.
As Martin King said, the arc of history is long indeed, but it always bends toward justice. Well, it bends toward justice because people keep pulling on that end of the arc.
And deliberating for 5 hours, still no verdict. But
when you get to be my age, you understand that it's going to be a lifelong struggle, and you just got to keep bending.
Mr. Kirkendall, did you get any feel for the split?
So I'm going to speak first as a representative of Scott's legal team. Scott Warren remains innocent because the jury could not unanimously conclude otherwise. The government put on its best case with the full force of countless resources, and 12 jurors could not agree with that case. We remain devoted today.
The trial ended in a hung jury. So there will be another trial, and that will happen in November. You know, you think of places in the world where extreme forms of violence and oppression are used to coerce people into doing things or to not doing things, and they still do them. So the short answer is, I think that people will always provide humanitarian aid regardless of what the consequences are.